Shri Advaita Gadha. Hare Krishna. Sorry, there was a power cut and I lost the connection. So I had to go to another connection. I hope the audio is clear. So, welcome back to the Bhagavad Gita Preface and Introduction thematic study, along with philosophical definitions and concepts. This is a very, very important course for those who really want to get, you know, uh, entry into, Shastra Darshan, philosophy. Generally, if one wants to study philosophy now, he has to study what is called as the Shad Darshans. Today, nobody has the time, the ability, the intelligence to, really do these kind of courses. Generally, if you're in the Gurukul, it will take around 6 to 8 years. And then, then you can start studying philosophy like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all that darshans, actual darshan philosophies. So in two classes, we first went into the preface and the mood and mission. We discussed this, and mission we discussed in one entire class. And then we went into the uh, some of the terms which we encountered during the preface. One was the aham mama. Prabhupada is speaking, I know that is not because of ahankar, but it is his mood. That has something to do with his mood. And the deha dehi beda tattva, which is analysis between body and spirit, Sankhya Darshan, which is important for becoming free from the deha, aham and mama. And then we have to understand the Gita. Don't try to stand on the Gita, you know. Then the subject object concept we studied. Then we began in the third class the introduction, Mangalacharan. We read the Mangalacharan verse, and yesterday we uh, went through the Mangalacharan. Say Mangalacharan, Trivida Prakar, Vastu Nirdesh, Namaskar, Ashirvad. Vastu is what is the defining object of that book? you know, and offering namaskars can refer to Bhagavan Vandana, Guru Vandana, Vaishnava Vandana, and Ashirvad, the benediction to the readers. So we saw these three definitions and then the examples from Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavatam, and Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. And then we did two exercises of the Mangalacharan verses of Baldev Vidyabhushan to his commentary called the Geet Bhushan, and these two verses. And Sarartha Varshini Tika of Vishwanath Chakra Thakur, two verses of Mangalacharan composed by them. And for your kind information, the devotees did really well. Everyone answered, you know, It was quite inspiring that all the devotees could understand these concepts. So today now we are beginning with the uh, introduction essay as such, and paragraphs 1 to 8. Paragraphs 1 to 8, the theme is the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita. And within that, paragraph 1 is speaking how Gita Upanishads is the essence of Vedic knowledge. Bhagavad Gita is also called as Gita Upanishads. It is the essence of all Upanishads. So other commentaries do not touch on the spirit of the Gita. So then what is the spirit of the Gita? The spirit of the Gita is that Lord Krishna should be accepted as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And only Bhagavad Gita is understood by a devotee who is in direct relationship with Krishna. So four paragraphs speak about this. And the eighth paragraph, Bhagavad Gita should be taken in a spirit of devotion as Arjuna and all sages accept. So all this together constitutes the theme, the spirit of the Bhagavad Gita, paragraphs 1 to 8. Yesterday we just read paragraph 1 we read. And I'll just repeat that and then we will begin our discussion today. Today we will be seeing a philosophical concept. Uh, Entire class we will be seeing this whole philosophical concept. This is a very, very important concept. And please try to be very attentive and try to hear and understand this. This is very important. Okay. So Bhagavad Gita is known as Gita Upanishads. Gita Upanishads. Mhm. It is the essence of all Upanishads. Sarvo Upanishado Gavo Dugdha Gopalanandana. It will later on come in the Gita Mahatmya verse, which Prabhupada will quote at the introduction, end of the essay of introduction. It is the essence of Vedic knowledge. So that's what Gita Upanishad mean, and one of the most important Upanishads in Vedic literature. So technically, if you see, uh, uh, it doesn't fall in the 108 principal Upanishads, nor in the 12 principal Upanishads, out of which the most important Upanishads is Upanishads. Uh, Gita Upanishads or Bhagavad Gita doesn't fall in that category because it is coming in the category of Smriti Shastras, not Shruti Shastras. But Bhagavad Gita is very special because it is a uh, Shruti within the Smriti. Please try to understand. It is a Shruti within the Smriti. So what does this mean? That although Bhagavad Gita is in the Shruti category of Shastras, there is the Rig, Yajur, Sam, and Atharvaveda, and within that there are divisions: Samhita, Brahmanaka, Aranya, and Upanishads. So uh, Upanishads are the conclusion of the Vedas, and they come in the end also, and they give the conclusion of the Vedas. So Veda Anta. Veda Anta means they come in the end also and they give the conclusion of the Vedas. That's why Upanishads are Vedantic in one sense. And by studying Upanishads, one transcends this material world and attains Brahman. Now, what is that Brahman? We'll come to it today, very soon. And in the Smriti category, there is Mahabharat and Ramayana, you know, and the Puranas, the Itihasas and the Puranas. Within the Itihasas category is Ramayana and Mahabharat. Within the Puranas, there are the 18 Puranas in Sattva, Rajas, and Tama. Bhagavad Puran is Amal Puran. It is special. And then the Pancharatra, compositions by great sages, based on time, place, and circumstances. So like that, this is a general classification. Again, there can be quite in detail, in-depth technical classification. And then there is the Nyaya Shastra, which is Vedanta Sutra. So technically, if you see, Bhagavad Gita falls in the Smriti category because it is part of Mahabharata. But it is called as a Shruti within the Smriti. What is the reason? Anyone knows? Raise your hand. Why it is called as a Shruti within the Smriti? What is the reason? Anyone knows? You can raise your hands. Why it is called as a Shruti within the Smriti? Anyone would like to try Beer Krish Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dhanutna. Prabhu, it is called Shruti because it contains the essence of all Vedic knowledge.
But see,
And
Shruti means what? Shruti means the four Vedas, Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva. And
but
Shruti are
this
always called as mantras. Okay. They are called as mantras and they are eternal. They come from the breathing of the Lord and they come from the four mounts of Brahma, the Rig, Yajur, Sam, and Atharva. And they don't change. The mantras don't change. Every time the creation happens, it is the same mantras which are coming. The Shruti Shastras don't change. They are always the same. In the next creation also, it will be the same. They cannot change. So why they're called, why Bhagavad Gita is called as Shruti within the Smriti? Yes, Nandini Devi Dasi, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Prabhuji, is it because Krishna himself has spoken this?
Yes, that is the reason. When from the breathing the four Vedas come, Rig, Yajur, Sam, Atharva, and Krishna himself is speaking, Yah Swayam Padmanabhasya Mukha Padmam Vinisruta. So he himself is speaking. So in that sense, it is, Shruti within the Smriti. So that's the understanding the Acharya has given. Excellent. So that is why Bhagavad Gita, because it is directly spoken by the Lord, and it is the essence of all the Upanishadic knowledge, Vedantic knowledge, Vedic knowledge, you know. And, keep aside all the Upanishads, 108. Today in Kali Yuga, nobody can read 108 Upanishads, not to speak of 108. You cannot even read the 12 principal Upanishads. And Upanishads, basically, to study, you have to be highly qualified. First of all, you have to be in the renounced order, sannyasi. And then you have to sit in front of the spiritual master and hear the Upanishads. At least they'll have to spend 6 to 10 years, you know. So who has the time to spend continuously serve the spiritual master? So in Kali Yuga, Krishna out of his compassion has given us says 700 verses, Gita Upanishads, and by which you get the entire essence of all the Upanishads. So that's the point. And there are many commentaries, Prabhupada says, but as far as he has seen, none are authoritative because they have expressed their opinions without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. So now I'll come to a very, very important concept, which is, what Upanishads deal with. Uh, there are the five subjects Prabhupada will speak you know, in his introduction. But because this term Upanishads has come, I am now going to this concept of the five topics that the Upanishads cover. So, what are the five topics? Now, this is called as Panchanga Nyaya. It is called as the Panchanga Nyaya. Now, please try to hear this carefully. This is, this is really philosophical. So the main subjects of the Upanishads is the nature of Brahman. What is the nature of Ishwar? You know, and then the nature of soul and its relation to Brahman. So what is the nature of the soul? Hmm. So in English, it is called as the I'm not able to recollect the English term, nature of existence, ontology. Yeah, I think it is ontology. One second, let me see. Uh, yes, ontology, the metaphysical study of the nature of being and existence. So metaphysical means that which transcends the physical realm. So ontology means, to understand the nature of Brahman. Brahman here can mean Brahman, Paramatma, Bhagwan, all three, you know. But generally the Upanishad's language, it is always addressed as Brahman. And the nature of Jiva and the Jiva's relationship with Brahman. And then the ontology or the nature of existence of Prakriti, material energy. The Prakriti, its origin, What is the origin of Prakriti? Who is the origin of Prakriti? And the connection to Brahman, and what is its connection to Brahman? Now, please mark carefully. This is what Prabhupada will in his essay mention as. Uh, why is this not connected? Let me connect my. Oh, okay. Adapter is wrong. Yeah, connected. So this is the Ishwar. You know, this is Jiva, and this is called as Prakriti. Hmm. So Ishwar, the relation of the Jiva with the Ishwar, and also the Ishwar with the Jiva also, both. And then material nature's relationship with the Ishwar, and material nature's relationship with the Jiva, and the Jiva's relationship with the material nature, and the Ishwar's relationship with the material nature also. So all this constitutes what is called as Sambandha Gyan. Sambandha Gyan. This is Sambandha Gyan. You know, I'll come more to Sambandha Abhideya and Prayojan. And this is called as Abhidheya. Abhidheya is the means or the process of attaining Brahman and nature of the supreme goal and the status of Jiva in Mukti. So this is called as the result or the Prayojan. The Prayojan. Sambandha, Abhidheya, Prayojan. And this is in the Upanishadic language, it is called as Panchanga Nyaya. In fact, all the philosophies of the world, you can just by asking these five questions, you know, you can understand what is the philosophy they are propagating. Now, you ask someone, what is your concept of Ishwar? They will say Shiva is Ishwar, you know, and then what is your concept of Jiva? The Jiva is, whatever it is impersonal or whatever it is, ultimately it will merge in Ishwar, something like that, in Shiva, you know. What is this material energy? Material energy is actually Shiva's energy. In one sense, it is because he's Maheshwar, but of course it is coming from Mahavishnu. Then means, so they'll have a sadhana process to realize Shiva, and then ultimately the nature of supreme goal, and ultimately they want to attain impersonal, you know, uh, they want to merge in the impersonal, so merge in the body of whatever it is. So all philosophies, you can just asking these five questions. No, if you see Christianity, nature of Brahman, Jesus is Brahman, who are you? I am this body, you know. What is this world? This world is meant for my enjoyment. What is the means? Just, pray to Jesus, for all your needs in this world, And then ultimately what you will do, in the heaven, I will be there with Jesus and I'll be enjoying there with Jesus. So that's their concept in Christianity also. So that, ultimately, we go to heaven and Jesus is also there somewhere and we are there with our family, and we are enjoying there also. So the whole concept is enjoyment, So their conception, you can clearly come to know from these five things: the nature of Brahman, the nature of soul. Who are you? Ask them, who is God? Who are you? And what is this world? And what is the means? Sadhana. They don't have actually a systematic uh, sadhana process. The Christianity, they don't have because their clear understanding is not there of Sambandha Gyan, So there's no, and then the goal is very clear, for them, enjoying in this world only is the highest goal, but max it goes to heaven. So like that, all the philosophies of the world you can just know by this Panchanganai, So that's how Vedic literature is, just by the 6 questions you can understand everything. So now coming back to, because I've introduced these terms Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. So now let's come to these 3 terms Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. So just sharing 1 second. Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. Okay. Now Prabhupada, okay, you have a question, huh? Yes, Birpish Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, bro. Bro, this Upanishad deals with only Brahman aspect of Bhagwan, or how it is?
No, I told you we'll come to Brahman, don't worry. Brahman is a term used to designate the absolute truth. Okay. And that can vary based on the person who is pursuing, what path is pursuing. Based on that, the concept of Brahman will change for him. So we'll come to that. Don't worry, we'll just very soon come to that. But let's now first, because I have introduced these terms, that these 3 constitute Ishvara, Jeev, and Prakriti constitute Sambandha Gyan. This constitutes Abhideya, and this is Prayojan, result. Relationships, you can see everything is based on relationship of Brahman with Jiva, Jiva with Brahman, and relationship with Prakriti with Brahman, and Brahman with Prakriti, all that, it's all about relationship. So Sambandh Gyan means you have to understand the relationship between the 3. And again, there'll be a terminology which is used mainly in the Upanishad language. I'll come to that. Uh, but let's go to now Sambandha, Abhideya and Prayojan. So Prabhupada himself wrote an analysis of Bhagavad Gita, how to study Bhagavad Gita very systematically. And it's now almost now 10, 15 years I'm trying to find this article. Prabhupada wrote it. It is there in one of the Bhakti Shastri manuals published by Mayapur Institute. Uh, the part of the article is there. I wanted to see the original article, and somewhere Prabhupada wrote it and it was published, and I'm trying to search it. But in that article, which is published in the Bhakti Shastri manual, I have extracted that. So Prabhupada says, in the analysis of Bhagavad Gita, Srila Prabhupada has categorized the subject matters of Bhagavad Gita under the following captions. So the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita, now we are not speaking about introduction, the subject matter of Bhagavad Gita. If you want to understand, study the Bhagavad Gita thoroughly and carefully, we have to, we have to categorize them into 3 things. Part 1, man's eternal relationship with, Godhead. Part 2, section 1, man's duty towards Godhead and nature of Godhead. So Ishwar, what is my, duty towards Ishwar? But we have to understand what is the nature of Ishwar. Why we get attracted to someone. What is the reason we get attracted to someone? What is the reason? Let us see. Let's try to understand, because it's philosophy. But let's break down and come to some practical reality. Why we like someone? What is the reason? What is the reason? What is the reason? Basic understanding. Who will answer this? Govinda Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Danvat Pranam.
Uh,
Uh, we are attracted to Lord because of his form, Leela.
one most important you're missing. You told form, that's okay. You told Leela, that's the last thing, but most important thing you're missing in that. Even in this world, forget the Lord, in this world, what attracts us to serve someone? What is that?
The relationship, maybe,
No, it's not.
how close
Relationship
they are.
comes later. Very important. Yes, Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, person's qualities.
Quality. Yes, it is quality. That is the first thing, the quality, So the nature of Godhead, what are Krishna's wonderful qualities that attract, and then being attracted, we serve. So this is part 2, Prabhupada says. And part 3 says man's ultimate necessity and perfection of life. This is ultimate goal. So in this part 1, part 2, part 3, tell me the terminologies, what terminology you can give for part 1, part 2, part 3. What are the terminologies you can, what are the terms now? I have not written the terms here. Tell me what are these part 1, part 2, part 3. What terms you will assign to these? Nandini Mataji, you have attended this course, I'm feeling now. Yes, Chakram Prabhuji.
First is sambandh.
Okay, second one. You got it correct now. Second one is what follows someone is, yeah.
Abhiday,
And then what is that third one?
prayojan.
Yes, excellent. Very good. Excellent. So this is called as sambandha, you know. This is called as sambandha. And this is called as abhidheya. Abhidheya is also called as the process. And this is called as prayojan. Prayojan. So I mentioned Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan. So Prabhupada analyzes the Bhagavad Gita based on these three things. Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan. Now let's come back now to what even the scriptures say about Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan. Bhagavan Sambandha Bhakti Abhidaya Hoy Prema Prayojan Veda Tina Vastu Kahe. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the central point of all relationships. Bhagavan Sambandha. Bhagavan Sambandha. And acting in devotional service to him in one's real occupation. Bhakti Abhidaya Hoy. And attainment of love of Godhead is the ultimate goal of life. Prema Prayojan. Veda Tina Vastu Kahe. The three subject matters are described in Vedic literature. In fact, in all Vedic literatures, we have to understand that all Vedic literatures speak about Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. Because, Chaitanya Charitamrita, this verse is coming up in the Chaitanya Charitamrita. And so the Sambandha is Bhagwan, Abhidheya is Bhakti, and attaining love, Prema, for the Lord is Prayojan. So I call it as SAP. This has nothing to do with SAP technology. This is relationship, process, and goal. So basically, everything is, Sambandha, Abhidheya, and Prayojan. This is the basic formula for everything. You know, And you are dealing with relationship, you are dealing with process, and you are dealing with results. You know, and uh, means you have to understand relationship. Means what is the field? Hmm? What relationship they have with each other, and what relationship they have with the goal, and what is the process. you know and if you don't understand these things, then you cannot actually perform the process properly. It might sound a little technical, but I'll just break it. There are these three things: RPR, relationship, process, or what is called as the means, and then result. So result is maybe end goal. Okay. So now let's again, I'll try to explain this with a very practical example, and then I'll go to an example which you can easily understand. Now, how many mothers are here? Any mothers here? Raise your hands. Govindanandini Mataji. Yes. Yeah. Govindanandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna,
So you have a daughter or son or both?
No, I have a daughter, two daughters.
Two daughters. Okay. Now let's do a little experiment. You know,
Mm.
Now, firstly, relationship, you know. Now, the relationship is quite fixed. I am mother, she is daughter. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if that relationship, there has to be exchange, then there is a process, you need a field. You need a field, a kshetra, where you can exchange, and get reciprocation. That means, you do need a field, and you should know what is the relationship. You know? If that this girl is my daughter, and another girl comes and sits next to you in the railway, you know, although you're in the field, in the coach, because the relationship is not there, there is no exchange of reciprocation happening, you know. So the relationship is known, the field is there, the relationship is there, and what is the, result you want to obtain? Hmm? What is, the uh, what is the process? You'll have to, to achieve reciprocation. There is a process, you know, there is a process. That is actually the abhidheya, but there is a process. And then you have a goal also, end goal, in that, by which process, when it is performed properly, then it will give you the result. So all these three factors are there. Now I'll explain this, of relationship process with the example of a cricket match. Now in the cricket match, there is the stadium, and this is the pitch. So this becomes the field. So the field has to be there, in order to, for the relationship to, take place, there has to be a field. Now, there is the bowler here and there is the batsman, you know, and then there is other fielders. Now, you need to know your relationship with him. You need to know your relationship with him. You need to know your relation. And there is a second batsman. You should know that your relationship with him also, because you have to be in coordination with him and see that these are your opponents. So the relationship with each other, that is also very important in the field. And then why we are assembled in the field, there is exchange, you know, of ball and bat, which gives some kind of rasa. I don't know what is that rasa, mundane rasa. People are so much attracted to it, but it is completely mundane thing, the bat and the ball. And, when, the result comes, then there is happiness or distress, right? The result comes. So like that, in any thing, there is this, within, now I'm speaking the process, huh? There are relationships. Now, why I'm speaking about that within Abhidheya, there is relationship, process, and results, because what I spoke here, what is that, Panchanga Nyaya, I spoke about relationships. We are just speaking about these three things, and only when, we have the understanding of these three things constitute Sambandh Gyan, you know, these three constitute God, living entity, and material nature, and their relationship all together constitute Sambandh Gyan. Now, in fact, we might now be studying about bhakti, you know. Bhakti is abhidaya, process. But the knowledge you are getting about bhakti, knowledge about God, knowledge about Jiva, knowledge about this material world, it is still sambandha. But when you apply that knowledge, then it becomes abhidheya. You know, you're getting this point. Please try to
Yes.
understand. Although it is, when you apply, then it is abhidheya. And when you apply and get the result, you know, then it is prayojan. So you might be studying Bhakti Shastras about, the goal as, Krishna Prem, and that knowledge what you're getting is Sambandh. It's still sambandha. But you apply it, it becomes abhidheya, and when you get the result, it is prayojan. So like that, sambandha gyan is the foundation for everything, you know. So you're studying abhidheya shastra, you know, uh, bhakti shastras like Bhagavad Gita or Nectar of Devotion, Nectar of Instructions. Although you're studying abhidheya shastra, but still it is sambandha, you know. When you apply that, then, you know, it
Mm.
is abhidheya, the process. And when you get the result, it is prayojan. So that's the point I'm trying to make. Now, again, coming to back to Bhagavan Sambandha, Bhakti Abhidaya, Premaja. And within that, we see this, that there's relationship. And this relationship is what I mentioned with Bhagavan, which is Ishvara. Sorry, let's take Ishwar. Ishwar, Jiva, and Prakriti. All three together, you know, the relationship, you know, all three together constitute relationship. And then there is a means, you know, what is the connection? We have to understand the connections, you know, all the relationships, and then we can reciprocate. You know, if you don't know the connection, then, you know, there is no question of, you know, exchange happening. You know, because it is your daughter, you know the relationship. If somebody else's daughter is there and
Mm.
she's a stranger, there's no connection applied. So there is no actually then process, you know, and then results coming. So Bhakti Abhidaya Prema Prayojana. So this I call it as relationship, process, and goal. Now I'll give you another example to understand. I call it as the BMW example. You know, we say body, mind, and words, but I'm speaking about BMW car. Now, you know, you suddenly see a BMW car and you get attracted, you know, and you say, I want this BMW car. So now your goal is to attain BMW car. So now that is Prayojan. Prayojan. It's a Prayojan. Okay. Now, then you have established a sambandh now with BMW car. So you go to the BMW car showroom and you see the BMW car and it is costing 80 lakhs. You know, let's mute the participants so that there is no distraction. And you know, right now you're a businessman. You're a businessman, and you're making 20 lakhs profit every year. So now you decide, okay, let me expand my business and work more. So the next 3 years, you start working. You have established a relationship with the car, BMW car, and you start working for the next 3 4 years, and then somehow you collect 60 lakhs, 20 lakhs you take loan, and the day you go and showroom, pay the money, you have attained the goal. You have got your BMW car, you sit and you feel ecstasy. I've got the car. And then you're driving the car to your home, you're feeling happiness, but then you see a Jaguar car coming and you become envious of him. So in this material world, any relationship you develop with anything, any object or any person, you know, except Bhagwan, ultimately it will lead to misery. This is the reality of this material world. It will lead to misery. So our sambandh we should establish with Bhagwan, you know. So, you know, we first, you know, actually first, you know, we twice meet with Prayojan. First time when we see the BMW car, you feel, oh, this is my goal to have the BMW car. And then you have established the sambandha. Next few years you work and then you make the money and you go and buy the car. Then you have attained the goal, BMW car. So like that, Bhagavana Sambandha, Bhakti Abhidaya, Prema Prayojan. Now, I am just now giving you here a chart of Sambandha Abhidaya Prayojan. Now, in the Bhakti path, Bhagavan is Sambandha, Bhakti is Abhidheya, Prem is Prayojan. In the other paths, Brahman or Paramatma, you know, they want to establish Sambandh with Brahman or Paramatma. So these are the Gyan Yogis who establish Sambandh with Brahman. They they say Brahman is all pervading, you know, And Brahmano hi pratishta aham, Krishna is saying also. And then Ashtang Yoga, Paramatma, they meditate on the Paramatma. So for them, the Abhideya will be the Jnana Yoga Sutras, the Ashtang Yoga Sutras, Patanjali Yoga Sutras, the Upanishads which speak about Brahman. And their prayojan is impersonal liberation, whereas ours is, in Vaikuntha or Golok Vrindavan, Prema. Now, for the Bhakti literatures I mentioned, that our Acharya for Sambandh Gyan is Sanatan Goswami. He is the Sambandha Acharya is called. And he has written a Sambandha Shastra which is called as Brahad Bhagavatamrit. In fact, first time in my life when I read Brahad Bhagavatamrit, I was really, really moved, very moved deeply uh, to develop a relationship with the Lord. And it manifests very affectionately, so that was a very deep experience, very divine experience I had reading the Brihad Bhagavatamrit. In fact, Brihad Bhagavatamrit is the foundational Shastra of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Based on this Shastra, all the other Shastras are written. Rup Goswami, Raghunatha Goswami, they all wrote based on the foundation Shastra Brihad Bhagavatamrit. So at one point, one should start studying Brihad Bhagavatamrit. I would recommend one can start hearing lectures on Brihad Bhagavatamrit. They are very, very inspiring. The Abhideya Acharya is Rupa Goswami because he gives how we should practice bhakti, the process of bhakti, how bhakti should be practiced and applied. So he has written Updeshamrit, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. We are called as Abhideya Shastra. And then you have to attain the Krishna Prem goal. So Raghunath Das Goswami is our Prayojan Acharya and he has written Prayojan Shastras which are Manashiksha and many other works. So like that, Sambandha Abhideya and Prayojan. Now I'm just reciting the verses of Sambandha Abhideya and Prayojan. Jayatam Surato Pango, Mama Mandir Matir Gati, Mat Sarvasya Padambojo, Radha Madana Mohano. So we are attracted in this world to many things. And the material world is basically the male female attraction, you know. The whole material world is working on this, and we are having attraction to material objects. But Radha Madan Mohan attracts our heart because we belong to the Jiva belongs to the Lord. So Madan Mohan is the attracting deity. So he is the Sambandha deity. So this verse is glorifying. Glory to all merciful. Jayatam Surado, Radha and Madan Mohan. Madan Mohan is, the Cupid. So the Cupid in the material world is attracting. That is the Cupid which is working basically in the male female attraction. So this is the transcendental Cupid, the spiritual Cupid. Radha Madan Mohan. Madan means to Cupid. I am lame and ill-advised. Pangur Mama Mandir Manda Matir Gati. Yet they are my directors and their lotus feet is everything too. Mat Sarvasya Padambojo. And then this is the Abhideya. Abhideya Shloka. And the Abhideya deity is Govindev. Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumad Srimat Ratnagara Simhasanasto Srimat Radha Shila Govinda Devo Prishtalebi Sevyamano Smarami. In the temple of jewels, Srimad Ratnagara in Vrindavan, Divyat Vrindaranya, underneath a desire tree, Kalpa Drumada, Shri Radha Govind, Srimat Radha Srila Govinda Devo, that is Radha Govind, served by their most confidential associates, Prishtalibi Sevyamano, sit upon an effulgent throne, Simhasana Sito, and I offer my humble obeisances unto them, Smarami. So, Radha and Govinda are the Abhidheya deities, and the devotees are doing service to them, they are serving them, you know. So seva is abhidheya, bhakti. So bhakti is the abhidheya, right? So that is the goal, to serve Radha and Krishna in the temple of jewels in Vrindavan under a desire tree and served. They are served by the confidential servants, and we have to enter there, you know. So that's the Abhideya prayer and the Prayojan. Shriman, okay, one point I want to tell here. Let's try to understand again with the cricket example. You know, the field is very important. Field is, the field is required, and that is established by, without the field, there can be no relationships and no action exchanges happening, or no process can take place. A field is required, and the field is Sanatan Goswami. And now imagine you have a cricket match, you know, and there are all spectators sitting here around, and there is the bowler, there is the batsman. The batsman has no bat, the bowler has no ball, and they're just, just standing there, you know. So what's the point? Will you experience any happiness in the cricket stadium? Tell us now. Let's try to hear and little more go deeper into this understanding of Abhiday. Who would like to share their experience? You're gone in the cricket match stadium, you know. The field is there, the pitch is set, and then the players are there. There is no ball with the bowler, there is no bat with the batsman. So what the spectators will do? What is happening? Just think about the feelings. What is happening? Who would like to share? Who would like to share this? This is very important, what I'm trying to discuss here. If you have not had this experience, what you feel when you're in a cricket stadium and yes, who would like to share? Yes, Chakrama Prabhuji. Yes.
We'll be just gossiping or friendly gossips.
You
There'll
see,
be
I
no
don't want to
rasa.
go into the external things. I want to go into what is the feelings. Please try to understand. Do you feel any, everything is static. There is no rasa. It's like Brahma.
Exactly, there'll be no rasa. Will be just no feelings for a spectator.
Yes. Again, the connection came back. So I hope you're able to get this point. This is a very important point I was trying to make. That activity in relationship to Radha and Govinda, out of love, what we do, that activity is bhakti. And Radha Govind Dev is our Abhiday deity. And ultimately, the goal in the cricket stadium, and there's six, and we win, that is the goal. So, similarly, there's exchange of love between the Lord and his devotee, and that highest level is the Ras Leela, the exchange of love. You know, Shriman Rasarasarambi, Vamshivata Tata Stitaha, Karshan Venu Swaner Gopi, Gopinata Shreyostu Na. You know, Sri Srila Gopinath. Gopinath, who originated the transcendental mellow of Rasa dance, Sriman Rasa Rasarambi, stands on the shore of Vamshivata Tatastita, and attracts the attention of the covered damsels with the sound of his celebrated flute. Karshan Venu Soner Gopi. May they all confer upon us their benediction. Shreya Astu Na. So ultimately, there is in the cricket stadium activity by which we get pleasure. So the exchange of the rasa dance, where Radha and Krishna dance and the gopis dance, ultimately the end goal is pleasure. So end goal of Nandini Mataji, let's again get back to you. Govinda Nandini Mataji, you had told, na? You have two daughters,
Hare
right?
Krishna Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Dandavat. Yes,
What is
Prabhuji.
the ultimate? Do you know the relationship with your daughter? and there
Yeah.
are exchanges, but what is the end result? What do you expect from that exchange? Happiness.
Maybe the love.
Happiness in
Yeah.
that relationship, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So all our end goals are happiness. We strive. Why we are working hard is also because we want happiness. So similarly, that happiness exchange of reciprocation with Krishna and the gopis, that is the prayojan, and the prayojan deity is Gopinath. Govind Dev, that's why he gives knowledge, and that's why Krishna takes the role of Govind Dev when he speaks the Bhagavad Gita. So this is the three deities which I spoke. Now I spoke about these Sambandhagyan, Jiva, Jagat, Jagadishwar. You know, so Jiva, Jagat, Jagadishwar. So in the Upanishadic language, it is called as Tattva Traya. Tattva Traya. Traya means three. Out of the five principles, three are Sambandha. Means God, the living entity, and the material nature, and their relationship. What are the relations? So that is Sambandha Gyan. So this is what constitutes Sambandha Gyan. Now let's come to Prabhupada. I am giving now various quotations which I have expected. Whatever I have explained now, you know, Prabhupada is quoting in many places in the Bhagavad Gita and various other places. So I am just summarizing. His knowledge is transcendental. The Vedic literature confirms that Brahman is concentrated transcendental knowledge. Sambandha Gyan. Brahman. Brahman is also Sambandha Gyan. To one who is anxious to be transferred to that spiritual Lord, knowledge is given by the Supreme Lord who is situated in everyone's heart. So ultimately, the means to attain Brahman, you remember that means to attain Brahman, Abhideya. But still, that Abhideya is what I said, if you remember. Anyone can tell? Even though it is Abhideya, the means to uh, go and reach Brahman, although it is Abhideya, but still it is what I said, if you remember. Who will answer? It is, yes, yes, yes. Go in Nandini Mataji.
Prabhuji, it is sambandh until we will apply it.
Excellent. It is still Samandh. One Vedic mantra says, Tam na devam atma buddhi prakasham mumukshurve sharanam aham prapadde. One must surrender unto the Supreme Personality Godhead if at all he wants liberation. So this shloka, now let us do some test. Please carefully read this shloka. Tam na devam atma buddhi prakasham mumukshurve sharanam aham prapadde. One must surrender to the Supreme Personality Godhead if at all he wants liberation. Now, this shloka is speaking about Sambandha Gyan or Abhidheya or Prayojan. Who will answer? Every shloka you can analyze whether it is a Sambandha shloka, Abhidheya shloka or Prayojan shloka, which is a lot of exercises we will be doing. But right now, this shloka is speaking about what? Sambandha, Abhidheya or Prayojan. Who will answer? Try. Those who have still not tried, I would like to ask them. Kavya Mataji, you would like to try? Are you there? I've unmuted you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, clear.
Okay, so I will just give a try.
Yes.
Uh, so one must surrender looks like a process, abhideya. Uh,
Excellent. Excellent. It is correct.
yeah, unto the Supreme Personality.
Hmm.
So
If you, no, correct.
could be a relationship with Godhead,
Yeah, that is there. But this sloka is speaking about Abhidheya.
abhideya. Yeah,
And once you surrender and then you attain the result, then you attain liberation. That is Prayojan. But this sloka is not speaking about Prayojan, frankly speaking. It's speaking about Abhidheya. You're correct. Hmm. As far as the goal of ultimate knowledge is concerned, it is also confirmed in the Vedic literature. Tam eva viditva mrityum eti. Only by knowing him, one can surpass the boundary of birth and death. Svetashwar Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita 13.18, purport Prabhupada is quoting this. Now, this verse, let us try now others. Nandini Mataji,
Very good, Guruji.
is it Sambandha Abhidheya or Prayojan?
Only by knowing him can one.
Pardon?
I'm just reading, Guruji. Only by knowing him one can surpass the boundary of birth and death. Mm, I think this is also Abhideya.
Mhm.
Or Sambandha, knowing him. So knowing the Sambandha, the process also.
Let's
Sambandha and
hold it.
Abhideya.
Okay, we'll hold. Kavya Mataji, once again, you would like to try what this verse is also? Tameva
Um,
viditvati mrityum iti. Only by knowing him, one can surpass the boundary of birth and death.
so knowing him gives an indication of Abhideya again, and
Uh,
surpass the boundary is like the goal.
Yes, excellent. It is actually, this verse is Prayojan verse, but knowing is Sambandha. Please remember, you know, as I mentioned, all, deal with Sambandh again, all the three, you know, within relationships also with Jiva, Brahman, and Prakriti, the relationships with all three, there is always Sambandh Gyan. But some can indicate directly Abhideya, some can directly indicate Prayojan. So definitely this is a verse of Prayojan. Yes, you have to know him in order to attain him. So Sambandh Gyan is there, but here it is pointing that I want to surpass the cycle of birth and death. So there is Abhideya. Prayojan. So you're right about it. It is Prayojan. But knowing him is, don't go by the word sometimes, Abhideya means, to know,
Mm.
so it's not process, but it is actually Sambandha. You got it? Is it clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, okay. All of you are clear about this? Now I'll just finish these quotations and then take to. Now, okay. I'm coming to this verse, very important verse. Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasyavayasya cha shashvatasya dharmasya sukasya ekantikasya cha. Now, this is Prabhupada's translation. I am the basis of impersonal Brahman. Brahmano hi pratishta aham. So the Brahman is compared to the tail of a peacock. The peacock is very beautiful, but just like a peacock is a bird and it is having a personality, and the tail is like tail is also beautiful, but the tail has no separate existence, without the peacock. So similarly, Brahman is the all-pervading light. It is coming from the body of the Lord. That is a person, Krishna. So I am the basis of this, Brahman, this all-pervading light. The basis of indestructible liberation. Amritasya avyayasya. Avyaya means indestructible, and Amrita is liberation. So because these jnanis want liberation, because their goal is liberation. Among the Panchangana, we saw the means of attaining bhakti and the status of the jiva and the state of mukti. So these are the jnanis, the basis of the eternal method bhakti, shashvatasya dharmasya, because these jnanis also have to practice a element of bhakti, because only by that bhakti they can attain liberation, and the basis of bliss of unalloyed devotee, sukasya ekantikasya. Now here the bliss is bliss of Brahman, please remember. Now this is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's translation. I am the shelter of the jiva who has attained his swarup. Brahmano hi pratishta aham. So Jiva Goswami, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives a little interesting understanding. He says that I am the shelter of the jiva who has attained his swarupa, which is beyond death and possesses unchanging devotion to me. Amritasya. Amrita is beyond death. Avayasya. Unchanging. I am the shelter of the eternal, wonderful quality. Shashvatasya, eternal, dharmasya, wonderful qualities, and extraordinary rasa for the unalloyed devotee. Sukasya ekantikasya. So this is more a bhakti purport to this translation, whereas this is directly for the Gyan path. So you can see. Now let's see what Prabhupada says. Now again, I'm going to ask questions. Complete knowledge includes knowledge of the phenomenal world, the spirit behind it, and the source of both. That is transcendental knowledge. This is a very remarkable statement of Prabhupada. What is transcendental knowledge? This is called as Sambandha Jnana. Now, who will tell me Sambandha Jnana means constitutes three things I mentioned? So now, where are the three things mentioned in this, it's a little difficult, but you can try. Who try? Because Sambandha Gyan means what? Jiva, Ishwar, and Prakriti. So where are the three elements in this one statement? Who will answer? Who will answer this? Who would like to try? Think about it. Take some time. No hurry. Who will try? Where is Prakriti, Jiva, and yes, Nandini Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat
One
Pranam.
second, one second. Uh, Govind Nandini Mataji, you had raised your hand or Nandini Mataji had?
No, I didn't raise.
I
No,
had
no.
raised.
Nandini Mataji, you raised, no? Because Govind
Yes,
Nandini
yes.
Mataji is there and Nandini Mataji is also there. Who had raised?
I had raised, Guruji.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Okay,
Yes.
so tell us, where is these three things in this?
Phenomenal world is Prakriti.
Excellent. Hmm.
The spirit behind it is Jiva. And the
Yes,
source of both of them is Bhagwan.
correct. Spirit behind is the Jiva. Source of both is, Ishwar. So all three. So knowledge means you should know these three things. Brilliant definition of Prabhupada in the second. The constitution of Brahman is immortality, imperishability, eternity, and happiness. This is Prabhupada speaking on this, Amritasya, Avyayasya, Shashvatasya, Sukasya, Ekantikasya. You know, Brahman is the beginning of transcendental realization. Paramatma, the super soul, is the middle, the second stage in transcendental realization. And the supreme personality of Godhead is the ultimate realization of the absolute truth. So Brahman can refer to Brahman, which is, the all-pervading Brahman, and the localized Paramatma and Bhagavan. So Brahman, nature of Brahman means it can include all the three. Therefore, both Paramatma and impersonal Brahman are within the Supreme Person. It is explained in the seventh chapter that material nature is a manifestation of the inferior energy of the Supreme Lord. The Lord impregnates the inferior material nature with fragments of superior nature, that is Jiva, and that is the spiritual touch in the material nature. When the living entity conditioned by this material nature begins to cultivation of spiritual knowledge, he elevates himself from the position of material existence and gradually rises up to the Brahman conception of the Supreme. So gradually one has to come to the Brahman concept. One should be, transcendental to the three modes. One is self-realized. This attainment of the Brahman concession love is the first stage of self-realization. So Prabhupada is saying that at this stage of the Brahman realized person is transcendental to material position, but he is not actually perfect in Brahman realization. So perfect in Brahman realization when he realizes Bhagavan. That's what Prabhupada says. If he wants, he can continue to stay in Brahman position and then gradually rise up to Paramatma realization and then to the realization of Bhagavan. So if he remains in Brahman position, then he attains Brahma Jyoti. This is what the Jnanis attain, So then their goal is the Jnana path and they attain the Brahma Jyoti, you know. And if he's in the Paramatma also, they will attain, they merge in the body of the Lord, Mahavishnu, you know. And Bhagavan, then they enter into Vaikunta or Golok, where there is personal reciprocation with the Lord. There are many examples of this in the Vedic literature. The four Kumaras were situated in the impersonal Brahman conception too, but then they gradually rose to the platform of devotional service. So this is Prabhupada Bhagavad Gita 14.27 purport. Okay. So up till now, I have finished the discussion on this. It's a taxing. I don't know how far you're feeling it. The Panchanga Nyaya, the five things within which the first three are Sambandha Gyan, and this is called Sambandha, Abhidaya process, and then Prayojan, the end result of the goal. And all the philosophies of the world, just by asking these five questions, you can understand what is their philosophy. Then we went into the terms of Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojan. Prabhupada also speaks about it. And Chaitanya Charitamrita gives Bhagavan Sambandha, Bhakti Abhidaya, Prem Prayojan. all the Vedas speak about this. We will now go into Bhagavad Gita and see which verse is speaking about Sambandha, which verse is speaking about Abhidaya, which verse is speaking about Prayojan. We will do that exercise sometime, surely. And within that process, now we spoke about there are relationships. There has to be a field. There has to be relationships. And what is the, what is my expectation? Like, uh, husband and wife get married. There's a field, the home, and the wife has to know what is my duty towards the husband. Husband should know what is my duty, and there is the relationship has to be established, and then there is a process. So like that, and we gave the example of BMW car. Prayojan is twice, reached in the beginning once, and once actually when you get the BMW car. And then we saw, this in Bhakti process, in the other parts, and within the Gaudiya Sampradaya, who are the Sambandhacharyas, Abhidaya Acharyas, Prayojanacharyas, and then the Sambandha prayer to deity is Madan Mohan, who attracts the jivas, and then engagement in devotional service, Radha Govind Dev. He also gives the knowledge. And when the knowledge is there, it is still Sambandh Gyan, but when the knowledge you start applying, it is Abhideya. So we saw that, and then the ultimately happiness, exchange of rasa. Gopinath is ready. Then Tattvatraya we saw, and then we saw the quotations of Prabhupada. So I will stop here for any questions. Application of Sambandha Abhidaya Prayodan. This is a very interesting part, and you'll like it, and then now you'll start seeing the Shastra from only this perspective. So any questions you have up till now, which you have not understood or it's not clear up till now? Okay, Beer Krishna Prabhuji. Yes. Yeah.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Mm,
Prabhu, you mentioned that subject matter of Bhagavad Gita under three captions, and part one, part two, part three.
mm,
I mean, Sambandha Vidya Prayojan.
mm.
So, I mean, is there, I mean, we have to study Bhagavad Gita. I mean, is there any section wise we have to see, or how it is?
Yeah,
Throughout the
basically,
book.
this is very important question what you brought. Now, you know, s- to see anything, you require, you know, eyes of knowledge to see. You know, just like a radiologist sees an X-ray, and I also see the X-ray. Both see the same thing, but the radiologist sees through the eyes of knowledge. So similarly to Sri Shastra, you need, the training of understanding these philosophical definitions. Sambandha, Abhidaya, Prayojan. What is Sambandha? What is Abhidaya? What is Prayojan? This is what we are trying to do in this course. Now, actually, if today time doesn't permit, I will be doing a lot of exercises and you will become expert now. You'll start seeing the whole Bhagavad Gita based on Sambandha, Abhidaya, and Prayojan. Which is the Abhidaya verse, which is the Sambandha verse. And then when you see like that, the whole Bhagavad Gita, then the Bhagavad Gita becomes very interesting. Your study becomes interesting, and you are able to connect with the Bhagavad Gita, connect to the Lord, and then you will feel inspired to practice and then go towards the goal. So that is why we are giving the tools by which you see Shastra. And, just like 2 plus 2, I also see, and, a layman who's uneducated, he also sees, but he cannot understand what that plus sign stands for because he is not trained in philosophical terms or terminologies of mathematics. But I am trained. So it makes sense for me. 2 plus 2 is 4, but it doesn't make sense for him because he doesn't know mathematics. So similarly, to understand Shastra, you need to, these philosophical definitions, which is called as epistemology, to understand these things. Then when you see Bhagavad Gita, then, you get a systematic approach to how to study Bhagavad Gita and how to understand Bhagavad Gita and how to actually make advancement in spiritual life. I hope
Yes, yes, yes,
you're able to
yes.
catch it, right? Yeah. Chakra Rama Prabhuji, yes. Uh, where are you? Yeah. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hmm.
Srimad Brihad Bhagavatam, you said you listen to the lectures.
Yes.
Is it on a
I,
YouTube
I
channel?
I will share that in the group, the link, and you will really, once you read this, your life will change. You know. So it's a very, very interesting book, and one should study it. At least one should initially hear. Brihad Bhagavatamrita is it's the foundational scripture in Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Okay, so I'll share the link in the group. And
Hare Krishna.
okay. Yeah, Nandini Mataji, yes, you have a question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Not a question, Prabhuji, regarding Srimad Brihad Bhagavatamrita. Actually, just recently Gaurang Darshan Prabhu has started his
Yeah, series of
lecture
courses
series
on
on. Yeah,
Brahma.
yeah, yeah. So only the first three classes are done. So like, if that is also an option to hear the lectures.
Yeah, but the recordings are not shared. They are not
It's there,
available.
Prabhuji. Those who enroll for the course, we get the
Only
recording.
those who enroll for them it is there. Otherwise,
Yeah, yeah,
not there for the public. But I'll
yeah.
share another link, which is excellent, given by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj.
Okay,
He
okay.
gave a series of lectures. There are 10 lectures, and it's very, very interesting. I'll share that. Okay, any other questions you have up to now about this? I hope you're able to catch this. This is a very important thing. And one minute. Okay. We have another 10 minutes. Are you all okay if I take another 10-15 minutes and finish this? Because already now momentum is caught. You have understood the terms also, philosophical terms nicely. I would like to take some practical tests for you all and know how well you have understood Sambandha Abhidheya and Prayojan. Can we do that? You can raise your hands if I can. No, we started a little late today. 7:30 I'm supposed to end, but we started at 6:15. Are you all okay if we can continue for another 15 minutes and finish this and do these exercises? One exercise we can do. Uh, you're okay, then only one has raised hand. What about others? Okay. Okay, fine. So I'll just now take the application of Sambandha Abhidheya and Prayojan because we have, done this now. Okay, in the Chaturshloki Gita, exercise 1, identify the verse in the verse Sambandha Abhidheya and Prayojan. Okay, now hear very carefully. Aham sarvasya prabhava matta sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam bhuda bhava samanvita. I am the source of everything. Aham sarvasya prabhava. Due to me, everything operates. Matta sarvam pravartate. Convinced by this knowledge, iti matva, intelligent persons, Buddha, endowed with love, bhava samandvita, worship me. So you have to tell me, some verses can only have samman, some can have only abhidheya, some can have only prayojan, some can have only abhidheya and prayojan, some can have all the three. So in this verse, you know, among these three, we have now had a good knowledge whether Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan is there, which one is Sambandha, which is Abhideya, which is Prayojan, you'll have to tell me. So who will answer this? We will take one by one from below. Nandini Mataji.
Haribol Prabhuji.
Yeah. So tell us this verse, whether Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan is there or only Abhideya Prayojan is there or only Prayojan is there. What is it about?
संबंध अभिदेह
Uh,
होता there
uh,
and road with love worship. So goal is love, that prayojan is also there. And
So
road
all
with
three are
love.
there. Sambandha,
Yeah.
Abhidheya, and Prayojan. All three are there in this verse. So this verse is a very unique verse because this verse is in nutshell the entire Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Now Sambandha, Abhidheya and Prayojan. Now Nandini Mataji,
Yes, Prabhuji.
Sambandha, Ishwar, okay, and whether the Sambandha of the Jiva is also there?
Yeah.
Yes, I am the source of everything. I am the source of the Jiva also. Then whether Prakriti is also there?
Yeah, due to me everything operates.
Oh, yes. And now iti matva means you are having the Sambandha Gyan. With the Sambandha Gyan, you practice the Abhideya, which is Bhajate Mam. So this is
Ah,
Abhideya.
okay.
Hmm? You use your intelligence, Bhuda and Bhava Samanvita. Bhava is Prema, which is Prayojan. You know? So like that. Okay, now next one. मच्चित्ता मतगतः प्राण बोधयन्तः परस्परं कतश्चन्ति मां नित्यं तुष्यन्ति च रमन्ति च. With minds greedy for me, machchitta, being completely dependent on me, matgata prana, mutually hearing about me, bodhayanta parasparam, and singing about me, katayantastu mam, they continuously experience satisfaction and enjoyment. Nityam tushyanti cha ramanti cha. So in this verse, you have to see whether Sambandha Abhideya Prayojan is there, or Abhideya and Prayojan is there, or Prayojan is there. So next one, yes, uh, Kavya Mataji, would you like to try?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Sure.
Mm.
So, mm, continuously experience satisfaction and enjoyment is the prayojan.
Excellent. One second, one second. Very good. Tushyanti cha Ramanti. Okay. We'll go a little more detail in this, what the Acharya has explained, but what you have said is very good. It's very correct. It is Prayojan. Then
Mutually hearing about me, singing about me looks like the sambandha hearing about me
no,
uh,
this is activity. So
and
what it is?
abhideya also.
It is Abhidheya. You know. And why they are practicing Abhidheya? Because their hearts are attracted to me. So there is only Abhidheya and Prayojan here. So within this, Tushyanti means there is satisfaction now. You know. And Ramanti means, actually end goal also. So there's present satisfaction, and now there is so much satisfaction when we actually attain the Lord. What, pleasure. Now only they are experiencing so much satisfaction. So what will happen, when we actually attain the Lord, you know? So that is what, Acharyas also give the understanding. Okay, excellent. Very good. I think all are doing well, really well they are doing. Okay. तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकं ददामि बुद्धियोगं तं येन माम् उपयान्ति ते. I appear within the heart. Dadami buddhiyogam tam. Of those who constantly desire to be with me. Tesham satata yuktanam. And worship me with great love. Bhajatam priti purvakam. By this appearance in their heart, they attain my direct association. Yena mam upayanti te. This is Vishwanath Chakra Thakur's uh, uh, translation. I give the intelligence, Dadami Buddhi Yogam, to those who worship, those who constantly desire to be with me, Tesham Satatan, and worship me with great love, Bhajatam Pritipuram, by which they can attain my direct association. Yena Mam Upayantiti. Okay, so now who will tell in the Chakrama Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Sambandha Bide Prayojan, what is there in this verse? Are you there? Are you able to hear?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'm there.
Yeah. Tell us. Take your time. It takes.
Uh, Yenemam Upayanti is the Prayojan.
Yes, excellent.
And constantly desiring to
Mm.
be with Lord and worshipping me with great love is the Abhiday.
Yes, excellent. Again, there is Abhideya and Prayojan. Very, very good. Last, Tesham eva anukampartam aham ajnanajam tama nashayami atma bhavasto jnana deepena bhasvata. To show the favor to them, Tesham eva anukampa artham. Anukampa means compassion. I feel compassion, the Lord says. And to show favor to them, aham, I, by myself, situated in their mental functions, atma bhavastu. That means situated in their heart also. Extinguish, nashyami, the darkness born of ignorance. Agyanajam tama, with a shining lamp of knowledge. Bhasvata jnanadipin. That means he removes the ignorance, avidya, and he reveals the relationship between us and the Lord. You know, to show favor to them, Tesham eva anukarpartam, aham, I, by myself situated within them, Atma Bhavasto, extinguish Nashan, the darkness born of ignorance, Agyanajam Tama, with a shining lamp of knowledge. Bhashvata Jnanadipan. This is proper translation. Okay, next is Govinda Nandini Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
This verse, tell us.
Extinguish the darkness born of ignorance with the shining lamp of knowledge. This is the Prayojan.
Yes.
Situated in the options. Yes. To show favor to them, I by myself situated in their mental functions.
Okay. So they are,
Some,
Abhidheya. Abhidheya.
okay, a bit,
10.10 is Abhidheya and Provision, but mainly 10.10 and 11 are Abhidheya only. Ultimately, it's not that they have attained the relationship with the Lord. The darkness is being destroyed. You know, Here also, He will give the intelligence by which they can come to me. They have not yet come to me. You have to understand. You know, so this is mainly an Abhideya verse. This is also mainly an Abhideya verse. So 10.8 is Sambandh Abhideya and Prayojan. 10.9 is Abhideya and Prayojan because much Bodhayanta Parasparam Tushyanti cha Ramanti. That is Prayojan there, as Kavya Mataji pointed out. And 10 and 11 are only Abhideya in one sense, if you see. So that requires a little, critical thinking, and it will come with a. So now here 10 point for those who know I am the source of everything, become enlightened Buddha and devoted to me wholeheartedly, Bhava Samanvita. So how they become devoted to me? No. How they become Buddha? Give Buddhi Yoga. Dadami Buddhi Yogam. And how Krishna gives Buddhi? By Jnana Deepena Bhasvata. So this is both speaking about Abhidheya. See, Dadami Buddhi Yoga means, I give the knowledge, the process by which they can come to me. So it's more of Abhidheya. And, how? By destroying the darkness and giving light. So again, it is speaking about, the process by which they can attain the Lord. So like that, these Chaturshloki slokas are there. Now, there are a lot more exercises which we will do in the next class. Now you are thorough with it. So I have taken many verses from the Bhagavad Gita to go into a little finer understanding of Sambandha Abhidheya Prayojan, which we will take up in the next class. So we will stop now. But again, if you have any questions, I can take it up. Any questions, any clarifications you have? Anyone? Is it any clarifications you have? No? Okay, so then we will stop here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भगवद गीता की जय, शील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. हरे कृष्णा.